Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nikki LaRose. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been on a drugstore product kick lately. I talked about some drugstore lip liners, some blushes I love from the drugstore, and I also have a drugstore makeup tutorial a couple months back. So I thought this would be a fun time to talk about my favorite drugstore face brushes because I actually have some that I'm a die-hard fan of. So let's get right into it. So I know I reference my drugstore makeup tutorial a lot, and there's a reason for that because I bought this one brush set from Profusion Cosmetics. It's a really inexpensive drugstore makeup brand. And I bought this face set when I was buying stuff for that makeup video. And I have never stopped using this face set. It's a set of 3 brushes and they're all for your face, like I said. And this one in particular is incredible for contour, for cream bronzer, for powders even, so many things. Like this brush is such a great multitasker. It's the buffing foundation. So these all came in a set, like I mentioned, and this set was $13. It was like $12.98, which is insanely inexpensive. And another brush that I love from this set is this one right here. I use it for so many products. I get so much use out of all 3 of these brushes. So this one is also great for like cream blush, cream bronzer, powder, pressed powder, loose powder, liquid foundation, cream foundation. I mean, I could go on and on. Like these brushes are so versatile. And then this one is great for either applying a liquid concealer, a cream concealer, and also it's great for pressed powder under the eye or applying a loose powder under the eye and to set your concealer. It's just a phenomenal brush and it's like the perfect size to like really get in there, blend it out, press in the powder, you name it. You can even do like a little liquid highlight or a powder highlight with this brush. It is such a great brush for smaller, like more detailed work. So this set, like I could just go on forever about it. I honestly need to go and pick up another set because I've used these so much and I'm always like running to clean these first when I'm like doing my clients because I want to use a set again. That's how like good it is. So if you're in the market for a good set of face brushes that will be amazing for multitasking, I highly recommend this one from Profusion. It's $13, well spent. Moving on to one of my all-time favorite, if not my very favorite drugstore brand face brushes. And it's no surprise that I would put Real Techniques brushes in this video. When I get asked, which I get asked all the time on Instagram specifically, if I recommend any cheap like drugstore alternative brushes, and I always say yes. I love Real Techniques. I think they have great brushes. They hold up so well. I've had most of my Real Techniques brushes for years and years. And so to the point where when I was gonna film this video, I was taking a look at my like old Real Techniques brushes that I've had for years and years, and they were looking a little rough and I didn't want to put them on camera and embarrass them because like they're like my personal collection. You know, they don't want to be like called out for being old and used and abused. So I was like, I'm gonna go out and buy a new set just for this video so I could show you guys a nice, beautiful, clean set of Real Techniques brushes. So this set, it actually comes with a sponge, which this sponge is like classic. This is just as good as a beauty blender and it's a quarter of the price. So the set comes with all these 4 brushes and the sponge, and it's about $18, 18 to $19, depending on where you purchase it, just like with anything drugstore related, I feel like. At Ulta, I believe they're $20. At Walmart, I think they're like $18. So just depends on where you purchase them. So let's talk about why these are so good. So you get a great powder brush. This powder brush is amazing for obviously powder. It's also amazing for powder bronzer, powder blush, for dusting off baking, for so many things. It's a great, nice, fluffy, but still has a little bit of density to it, which I appreciate. Just a great size brush. And then it also comes with this one. This is the 200 brush. It's the Expert Face Brush. I have 3 of these brushes specifically. I have one in my kit, one in my personal collection, and now I have a new one. And this one is great for cream contour. So cream contour, you can really get in there and like chisel your cheeks with it and like hit like the hard to reach areas. It's great for doing the hairline. I even use it for like contouring the side of people's noses or my nose. It's good for the jawline, you name it. It's pretty dense. It's like pretty packed with bristles, but it does have a little bit of like give to it. So it will apply it and you could stipple products on with it, but you could also gently buff products out, which I appreciate. I'm all about like a multitasking brush that does everything for me, and I think this is a great brush for that. I have also used this for liquid foundation and cream foundation, so don't think that you can only use it for contour products. It's great for so many different applications. So now this brush that comes in the set, you'll recognize it because I use this one all the time. And one of my best friends actually introduced me to this brush years ago. We were on a travel job and she pulled this little pink brush out of her little makeup bag and she was applying a pressed powder to like touch up with this brush. I was like, what is that brush? She goes, Nikki, you need at least 5 of these. And she was so right. So I went out and I bought 3 at the time, and I love these brushes. I have never stopped using them ever since, thanks to my friend Brittany for introducing me to these things. And you'll recognize it because I use them in my makeup tutorials, both on Instagram and on YouTube all the time. Like I can't live without this little brush. And so a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, I can't find that little pink brush that you use. And I realized why. This is like the old version from what I've researched. This is the old version. It's really, really hard to find. I think they have it on like eBay or something random. This is the new version. So all they did, it's the same brush, except this one's new, so it looks a little more like polished and tapered. It's the exact same brush. They just changed the color to a light pink. So if you're ever looking for it, it's gonna look like this now. This is like the old school one that I treasure. But this brush, not to go into too much detail, you've seen me use it 1,000 times. I will use it for everything. I use it in my makeup kit on my clients. I use it on myself as well. Like I said, I have tons of them. I also have one in my little makeup bag in my purse because it's ideal for touch-ups. So you could do pressed powder application with it. You could do loose powder under the eye, powder bronzer, powder contour, cream blush, like honestly anything. Liquid highlight, it's amazing for a liquid highlight to tap it in, or powder highlight. The world is your oyster with this brush. So I highly recommend this brush. This is about $8 individually. But like I said, it comes in that set for 18 to 20 bucks, which is a great deal. The last brush that comes in that set is this little guy. And this little guy is phenomenal for, of course, concealer. So concealer under the eye, both cream and liquid. I love both formulas with this. It's also amazing to dip into your powder, either pressed or loose, to set your under eye concealer because it has a little bit of density to it. It's a little more stiff, but it still has like that fluff, which I love. So you can really get in there and you can buff out any creases. You can set your under eye concealer and you could set any areas that are like harder to reach, like around your nose, the tear duct of your eye. I also love it for applying a cream eyeshadow base or any kind of base on the eye that's creamy. Hands down, great brush. So that wraps up the final brush that's in that set for 18 to 20 bucks. Like I said, such a good deal. I would not pass that up. Okay, so another brush from Real Techniques. This one is sold individually only from what I've seen. And I have noticed when I was trying to look up how much this was, because I purchased this well over like a year, maybe 2 years ago. And I bought this specifically for like cream bronzer or like liquid bronzer to like buff and to sculpt into my face. And it's great. It is so good for exactly that. It's also great for applying a cream blush and anywhere you want to like lightly sculpt and blend at the same time. So now the reason why I like it is it kind of reminds me of one of those old school MAC 168 brushes where it has like the tapered end to it. So it's got that taperedness to it, that little angle, which I really love for, like I said, like contouring. So either a cream contour, you could buff it in and really work it in, and that angle just really helps you out. It really gives you like, you know, it speeds up the whole process. So it'll do like the application and the blending for you. And it really just helps to like hit the groove of your cheeks to help you sculpt and define or whatever you're doing. I also love it for pressed powder to get this area of the face when I'm setting my makeup. I love to like press my powder into this area. Of course, it's also great for cream contour around the hairline. So many things. But this brush is about $8, I believe. It is a little bit more hard to find. I do still think they have it I think they have it at Ulta still. But you could definitely find it online. It's the 408 Rebel Edge Medium Brush. This is a great one. Now, last but not least, I love E.l.f. I love E.l.f. cosmetics for so many different things. And I have used their brushes for a long time. Like, you know, beginning of makeup for me when I was really struggling, like on the struggle bus, couldn't afford like really expensive makeup brushes, definitely couldn't afford like expensive MAC brushes, and I would go to Target and I'd buy e.l.f. brushes. And so one of the OG brushes that I bought from e.l.f. Cosmetics is the Ultimate Blending Brush. I've had this brush for a very long time. It's almost embarrassing how long I've held onto this brush, to the point where it was so hard to get the old makeup stains out of it, which isn't a good thing, but you know, over time, white bristle brushes, they just stain. It's just the reality. So this one you can still see has like blush stains in it, and I tried my butt off to clean this as well as I could for this video. So this is the best I could do. I've had it for a good 10 years. Yeah. My husband's looking at me like, 10? You've held on to this for 10 years? Yeah. I've known this brush longer than my husband. And that just shows you what a good brush it is. It's like an OG, you know, stippling hybrid kabuki brush. It's fluffy. It gets in there. I use it for powder, any kind of cream, and any kind of liquid. This brush is $8, but I remember when I bought it, I think it was like $5 or $6. It might have been like, I think it was like $5, honestly. It was really cheap. I remember thinking like, oh, I should just buy a ton of these because it's so cheap. But anyway, long story short, I actually do have 2 more of this brush. They're all dirty, so I only cleaned one of them. This was the cleanest one that I could get to show you guys. So this is the original Ultimate Blending Brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics. They still make this brush, and I highly recommend it. If you are a liquid foundation or a cream foundation kind of girl, this is going to make your life so easy to just buff it on. And then I have a new favorite from e.l.f. and this one I'm really proud of. So my friend Susan Yara, she's on YouTube. I'm sure you know who she is by now. She is obsessed with this It Cosmetics double-ended, it's like a kabuki blending brush. It's a really expensive brush. It's like $55 or $58. It's like almost $60. And it's this exact size. It's double-ended, so it has a smaller brush on the end that's meant for concealer, and then it's got the larger end on the top for, of course, your cream products, your liquid products, whatever you want to apply with it. And so she loves that It Cosmetics brush. She's got like 3 of them, and it's like her favorite brush. I'm always joking around with her, like, you need to get a new brush because that's the only brush you use for everything. And she will literally use it for every single thing. Her eye makeup, entire face, the whole thing. And so I bought her one of these, and these are only $8, mind you. So it's literally a fraction of the cost of the It Cosmetics. It is so, so good. I'm not gonna say it's better because it's not better. That brush is phenomenal. But for the price tag, it's pretty amazing. And so I showed her this. I bought her one and I brought it to her and I was like, you have to try this. I think I found a dupe for your It Cosmetics buffing brush. She was like, oh, I don't know. Like, you think so? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, trust me. So we did a whole video. She did a whole video comparing it, and it is totally a dupe. It works so well. It's $8 and just such a great bang for your buck. Like, you take this brush, you got your end for your concealer, and then you got your end for your face, like your cream blush, your cream bronzer, your foundation, you're done. Like, that's all you need is this brush. So this is a new favorite. I highly recommend it if you like brushes this kind of size with this kind of density, which who doesn't? Like, they make everything so easy. I highly recommend you try this brush out. It is phenomenal. And so once again, this is called the e.l.f. Cosmetics Complexion Duo Brush. $8. You'll thank me later. Okay, so that wraps up my favorite drugstore face brushes. I'm gonna try to do one for eyes, but to be quite honest, I have never met a drugstore eyeshadow brush that I've been impressed with. But if you have any suggestions on what I should try, please leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know if any of these are your favorite, like me, like some of these are just my ride or dies. So let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my future videos. I'm also on Instagram. I'm at Makeup by Nikki LaRose, and TikTok, same name on all 3 platforms. You can find me there with more tutorials, and I do lives every once in a while. So catch me there, ask me questions, talk to me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.